We have been chatting with my good friend, I haven't heard from him in a while, from Atlanta, Matthew Cardinale. Matthew runs a online newspaper in Atlanta, and when I owned and ran the Beacon in Northern Virginia, which was competing with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, we were allies, and we were allies on some libertarian issues, but mainly we were allies in our battle in Atlanta and the Georgia General Assembly for more gay rights legislation to protect the LGBT community from discrimination. And I also was the Republican conservative in Atlanta that led the fight for gay marriage, along with many of my friends there. And that all worked out after a while. That's how we became friends. And it's Matthew, great to have you back, man.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And you also, as you will recall, you stood with me in my open meetings and open records transparency battles with the city of Atlanta, and I took them all the way up to the Georgia Supreme Court without an attorney when they were trying to have closed meetings and take secret votes, and so I was able to force them to open up their committee briefings to the public, go back and disclose their secret vote. I've been fighting for the First Amendment. They've been trampling on, people's right to make public comment. And so I have been a thorn in their side, and now it appears that there's a politically motivated effort to keep me off the ballot and keep me from getting onto the Atlanta City Council, where I could make some real positive changes.
Yeah, because you've tried to hold them accountable forever and expose their secret meetings and do a lot of other things that you drove them bananas because you actually wanted the people to see what was going on. So, and here, just to give we've got kind of a national audience now, to give everybody a breath here of the way legit media works, all right? Matthew is a progressive Democrat. I am
I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent, but I'm to the left of the Democratic Party. Go ahead.
Right, you're to the left of the Democratic Party, and I'm a Trump Republican, chairman of Trump's campaign of Virginia 2015-16. So ideologically, we come from separate bases of thought. Okay, but yet we allied on a number of critical issues just facing average people, which are transparency in government, gay rights, getting the light shined, fairness. So anyway, Matthew did excellent work there. So now you're trying to run for city council. They're afraid you're going to win because you got a base down there, and if you get on the ballot, you are going to win. So what are they doing to keep you off the ballot?
Well, on Monday of this week, I received a disqualification letter raising issues regarding my residency, and there's a one-year residency requirement. For 11 months of that, I lived in my current home. I became a homeowner, yay. And prior to that, I was in an apartment for about a month, also in the district, and it was an Airbnb. And they're saying that an Airbnb inherently cannot qualify as a residence because according to the clerk's personal opinion, the municipal clerk's personal opinion, Airbnbs are somehow lower than hotels and motels. And people usually don't have the ability to pay for Airbnbs for a long period of time. And this has no basis in law. I filed my emergency appeal yesterday, and I have a hearing tomorrow, an emergency hearing for a stay, 2 p.m. tomorrow in front of Judge Kelly Lee Ellerby. And so,
yes, Kelly Lee Ellerby, yes.
Who we know.
Yes.
And and she will be having to decide, whether to allow me back on the ballot. Again, Airbnbs, I would just remind you that our president lives at Trump Tower, which is a hotel. And Presidents Eisenhower and Hoover lived at the Waldorf Astoria in New York for different periods of years. The U.S. Census says that more and more people are turning to hotels and motels as their permanent residence. So this is a politically motivated witch hunt to keep me from seeing the promised land. And then they said, oh, well, your intent when you were at the Airbnb wasn't to stay there forever. Well, the Georgia Supreme Court has said that's not the requirement. The requirement is that you have no present intention of removing, but some floating future intent of becoming a homeowner or of moving somewhere else is not relevant.
Okay, so Matthew,
but it's been heartbreaking to me. I just want to serve the public. That's all I want. I just want to take, my legal knowledge, my passion, and my abilities, and deliver for the people of Atlanta. And they just want someone who will go along with the administration with their developer tax giveaways, their $5 billion, public subsidy for the Gulch development, or the football stadium, $30 million for public subsidy. There is a machine that continues to deliver for developers in this city, and I'm someone who's going to stand up for neighborhoods. I'm someone who's going to say, no, we're going to keep our historic character in this neighborhood. We're not going to put up cookie cutter infill and McMansions and the things that they want to do. So they are very afraid of what will happen if I get on the Atlanta City Council, and I'm just really hurt that I have to, that I have to fight instead of campaigning, which is what I need to be doing right now.
All right, so Matthew Cardinale, let me get this straight. Let me just get this straight. Yeah. So you're running for city council in Atlanta. You've been an activist down there and a thorn in the Atlanta City Council side for a long time and trying to get transparency and just get them to answer questions and all that stuff. And, if you're in Atlanta for a long time like me, haven't been there since 2011 when we moved to Virginia, the Atlanta City Council, it's all a closed door. You had all kinds of corruption going on in the former mayor's office and all that. So Matthew's been fighting these people for 30 years, basically. So now you want to run for council. So you have to jog my memory as a city council member. Are you running for a district or is that at large?
Yes, I'm running for District 3, which was held by Ivory Lee Young Jr. He tragically passed away from multiple myeloma, which is a type of blood cancer, in November. So this is to fill the rest of his term.
So it's a special election.
This is west side of Atlanta, and it's a majority black district. It is a district that is undergoing the pressures of new development and gentrification. Right. And as you know, that is an issue about which, I'm also very passionate. And so part of the reason I'm running is because I want to use, my affordable housing policy knowledge to, I'd like to do some land acquisition. I'd like to do some land trusts. So we have some permanently affordable units that we can count on as the yuppies and buppies come join us here in District 3.
So do you have to, according to their rules, do you have to live in the 3rd district of Atlanta in order to run in that district?
For 1 year prior to qualifying. That's right.
Okay, so for 1 year, you lived in a B&B in the 3rd district, and they're saying that is not a formal residence, and so. Let me just get this straight. So you went through the process, you filed, you got your required signatures, you had enough signatures, right, to get on the ballot?
In Atlanta, if you pay the $1,800 qualifying fee, you don't need signatures. So right, I qualified. I've been campaigning for 3 months. And we don't really know the origin of this inquiry. the municipal clerk just started asking me questions. When did you move into your current home? So I've lived in my current home for the year that we're talking about. 11 months of it was in the current home, and they have no problem with the current home. It's the Airbnb where I stayed for 31 days, even though it's in the district, even though they accepted as a finding of fact that I was dwelling there, that I was physically present there. But they've said an Airbnb can never be a residence because in his personal opinion, they're inherently temporary.
So you've lived in a house there for 11 months, and one of the months you lived in an Airbnb, and they want to disqualify you from being on the ballot because they know how many other people have qualified. How many other candidates?
There are 8 other people currently on the ballot.
And is it a plurality or a majority? You have to go to a runoff, or is it just a plurality?
That's right. So you need 50 plus 1 to avoid a runoff. And with this many candidates, I felt pretty strongly that there would be a runoff, but that I would be in it, and probably with one of the machine candidates.
Right. So if you get in the runoff, you win. And so that's their issue. They have to deal with you as a city council member. So then they concoct a way to get you off the ballot. See, this has been going on all over America. I mean, this is what they do to people that try to get into government that actually want to do something. Is they find ways the machine finds ways to get them off the ballot. I mean, we were talking about Joe Morrissey earlier. He's coming up after me, the Joe Morrissey Fighting Joe Show, 10 a.m. To noon on the John Fredericks Radio Network, WJFN 100.5 FM. Remember, they threw Joe off the ballot. They challenged signatures, and somebody didn't dot an I or a T. I mean, this is what the machine does. And so, Matthew, it's a travesty what is going on down there to not let you qualify because you lived in a B&B in the district for 31 days while you were searching for a home, and then you got one and lived there for 11 months. I mean, the sense of unfair play here, and they're doing this because they know you're going to win, right? If they didn't think you were going to win, Matthew, they wouldn't care.
You got it. So, and then just the fact that early voting starts on Monday at 8:30 a.m. And they issued their decision Monday of this week at 5 p.m. So from Monday at 5 p.m. through Wednesday, which is yesterday, at 1 p.m., I wrote a 25-page petition to Fulton County Superior Court. I don't know who else really could have done that. Now, I have my law degree now. I'm representing myself pro se. If you first of all, if you didn't have an attorney and you didn't have a law degree, forget it. And then even if you had an attorney, like, what type of attorney can drop everything that they're doing and get something like that, a 25-page document done in less than 48 hours when they're juggling other cases and things? So I don't know who else could have done this. I had 10 days to appeal, but if I had waited the 10 days, early voting would already be over. So I'm trying to get my name on the ballot before early voting, and I'm really appreciative that the judge allowed me to have this emergency hearing tomorrow at 2 o'clock, because that's the only way to avoid harm to my candidacy.
And that is Kelly Lee, and I remember her. I remember doing several pieces on her when she ran originally. I don't remember what our paper's position was, if we endorsed her or not. I really don't remember, but I do remember that race when she won. Do you feel that she's going to give you a fair shake?
I don't know. I was going to ask you that question.
I don't remember. I'm thinking we endorsed another lady, Chloe. Remember her?
I do.
Chloe Dallaire.
I do.
Yeah, I think we endorsed probably the one I mentioned.
So you're talking about what the Beacon did.
Yeah, I think the Beacon endorsed Chloe Dallaire. I mean, I have to go back. Yes, we endorsed Chloe Dallaire, and I don't think Kelly Lee is a fan of ours. As a result of that, she did end up winning in the runoff, but we backed Chloe Dallaire for whatever reason. So I'm juggling my memory because, this is back 2008 or something. But look, I mean, I've interviewed her a number of times. She seemed pretty fair. And I think it's good news that she gave you the hearing on Friday.
Yes,
but the bad news is, it's really tough for these judges to overturn these kind of rulings. I remember, there was another ballot issue with the lady that ran for mayor down there, the councilwoman that she ran for mayor 2 times, and then she tried to get on the ballot as an independent for Fulton County Commission. What was her name?
She turned in her petitions like 2 hours late or something, and the deadline happened to be like 1:30 in the afternoon for some reason.
Yeah, the deadline was 1 o'clock, and she came at 3 o'clock. What was her name? She just ran for mayor again.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, Mary Norwood.
Mary Norwood. Yeah, we backed her for mayor, and then we backed her for independent race. But I remember going to that hearing, and it's tough to overturn a ruling. But look, I think Kelly Lee is fair, and she's a good judge, and I hope you get a fair shot. Now, if you get on the ballot, be sure and stay in touch with us. Send us a link, and Ann and I will absolutely donate to your campaign. I appreciate all the work that you've done.
Oh, shucks! Thank you.
You're a super guy. Yeah, you'd be a breath of fresh air on that city council in Atlanta, and you'll hold everybody accountable. Because the other reason they don't want you there is because you own a news outlet, and you're basically going to publish any of the shenanigans that go on. So that's the other reason they don't want you in there. They're scared to death of you.
So they don't want to let me see the promised land, but I think I can see the tips of it over the tops of the mountains. So we're gonna keep fighting. And listen, it's been great to talk with you. I will definitely keep you updated. And as I said, I saw your picture on Facebook yesterday, and it reminded me to give you a call.
Well, thank you so much. Good luck in your hearing, and I hope that justice is done right and people have an opportunity. Look, here's the thing: if the people of the 3rd district in Atlanta don't want you representing them, guess what? They're not going to vote for you, right? They got 7 other candidates. Vote for them. But why keep you off the ballot? They only keep you off the ballot because they're scared to death that you're going to win. And they know if you get in that runoff, you're going to kick their butt. That's what they're afraid of, Matthew. You're going to kick their butt. All you got to do is get in that runoff, and they're dead. And they know it. That's why they're trying to kick you off the ballot. Unbelievable. All right, keep us up to date. I'm going to put this interview up on YouTube. Be sure and tweet it out to all your followers, and Good luck in Friday's hearing, Matthew. Great to talk to you, man.
Thank you. Okay, great.